Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
The Daily Compliance News for February 26, 2025, the World Corruption Edition. And we begin with that story from Foreign Affairs. Yes, Foreign Affairs reports that a more corrupt world will be bad for America. Trump's abandonment of anti-corruption and anti-bribery efforts under the FCPA will hurt and not help U.S. companies. This has been a basic fact for 50 years, and Trump, of course, who wants to engage in bribery and corruption, refuses to understand the power of the FCPA and what it will be, or what the long-term damage will be to U.S. companies going forward. Of course, he probably doesn't care. Next up from Reuters, Meta must face a lawsuit claiming it prefers cheaper foreign workers. The debate on visas takes a sharper turn as a federal judge, said Meta must face a lawsuit that is bringing in foreign workers to underpay Americans. Technology professionals in America are being sucked down by workforce with H-1B visas with lower salaries. And if Trump is actually going to do something about immigration, this would seem to be a good place to start. Of course, they donate a lot of money to his campaign. Next up, interestingly, as CNN reports and a host of others, Coinbase announces the SEC will drop the case that could have killed crypto in the United States. Coinbase is the largest crypto exchange, and it said that the Trump administration has agreed to drop a major lawsuit that would have, in its words, destroyed the crypto industry. So, of course, the SEC has dismissed its case against Binance, where it got over $4 billion in damages. But the SEC had claimed Coinbase unlawfully made billions by acting as an exchange, broker, and clearinghouse without having registered those functions with the SEC. So the SEC is going to take a very different direction and a very different stance. And it's equally interesting that the defendant makes that announcement, not the SEC. Wonder if they're ashamed. And finally, the turmoil around DEI continues. Now the question in front of many courts is there illegal DEI? And of course there is not. But companies are reframing DEI to go from lifting to leveling. And when you think about it, leveling the playing field is really one of the key components, I think, of an affirmative action or other program, giving everyone a fair shot. That's certainly not what the Trump administration wants. They want white guys in everywhere. And now it's leveling. At the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.